Boom. Synth fan first up in the house. Welcome. Cindy C, Tina G, Fox Hill Dreams, Farrah Renfro, Misha Oliver, Patricia Pues, Chrissy M, Cecile Kazemi, Punxsutawney Mo, Bernadette, Deborah Baldini, Kathleen Cross, Kathy Murphy, Matt Meehan, Victorina, Julian Goutier, Cha-Cha, Tracy M, RJ, Asmila J, and BDD in the Heezy. What up? Ms. Nick, Jennifer Sawyer, Jamie from Wisconsin, Sheila Bird, Lee Saunders, Shell Teresa, Watcher Soko, Queen of the South, Tanise, Johnny's 2 Cents, Sandra, The Trump Reaper, Sarah B, Jennifer Rayner, Adrian Gladish, Susie Brizuela, Stella Baxter, Patricia Haverkamp, Gina Potter, M. Getz, Scribble My Nibbles. She calls me Bro Diggity. That's what's up. Stacy Mendenhall, Laurie B, and Baby Harrison. Welcome to another episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad, and this is Storytime. What up, Monique? I see you slipped in right under the wire. Welcome to you too. Welcome to everybody. Happy Tuesday to you. We got some news, some stuff happening today. Oh, thank you, Sinfan. Gling gling. What's up, Anna Alvarez in the house? And we got some stuff to cover. And you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do that stories of the day thing starting right now. Stories of the day. 44 seconds of footage were released today as a North Kakalaki DA announced no charges in the execution of Andrew Brown Jr. A January 6th commission is necessary to determine the exact causes of the attack on our nation's capital. So why hasn't it been formed yet? Marco Rubio now has stiff competition for his Senate seat. We ready? Can the U.S. survive lurching from one election dispute to another? We'll get into that. Last but not least, Qevin McCarthy is today's raggedy bish. Yes, we got a whole lot of stuff. But first up, I want to dedicate my random stuff subject. Oh yeah, by the way, I saw you, Marie. You popped in there. Lee Saunders says sniffing his fart. Yes, Marie is here. Lisa Hathaway, Jennifer Sawyer, and Jennifer Rayner are here. Andrea Baldridge has popped in. Welcome, Andrea. Pasta D is here. I just want to make sure that I get you guys because I have to, due to time constraints caused by my own CP time, I have to skip today's roll call. You know how it is. I got content. I got a lot of content, a lot of things to cover. So it is. But I want to dedicate today's random segment to Palestine and Palestinians. Um, I just tweeted maybe about a half hour ago. I said Palestinians deserve human rights. This is not a controversial statement, nor is it a conditional statement. It's not one of those, yeah, but uh, all lives. No, no, no. Don't go there with the all lives and yeah, Israelis too. We know that. We know that the United States has, demonstrated its unequivocal support for Israeli lives. But the same thing can't be said for Palestinians. So when I post stuff like that, I really hope it's not controversial. Sometimes it ends up being controversial. I'll get a bunch of, the equivalent of all lives matter or they should just comply. Yeah, we've heard that before. And it's not up to them. They're just there living their lives, man. They're just living their lives. They're trying to go to school, they're trying to go to work, they're trying to go to the grocery store, et cetera, and they're getting killed, and it's not right. And I know it's a complex situation, but I'm just making that statement without any preconditions, nothing. It's a fact. Palestinians deserve human rights. Somebody pointed out as a reply to that tweet, they said that they already have human rights, but their human rights are being violated. And that also is true. What are we going to do? What are we going to do about it? The pressure is on Joe Biden to do something. But as I mentioned the other day, it's clear now that he has had a conversation with Netanyahu, and for whatever reason, he is laying off the whole ceasefire, demanding a ceasefire. So it's disappointing. It's very disappointing, but it is what it is. All right, we're going to jump right on into our quick hits of the day. Yeah! Yeah! Hit him in his stupid orange head! Yeah! Punk ass bitch. All right. Whoops. Here we go. Okay. Quick hits. Speaking of Joe Biden, President Joseph R. Biden was in Dearborn, Michigan today as part of his initiative to promote green new jobs and the infrastructure and all that good stuff. Incidentally, he did have some words of support for Rashida Tlaib. But again, it's kind of weak. Those weren't the words she was looking to hear. She doesn't want to hear how brave she is and what a fighter. She just wants you to do what you got to do. Anyway, Joe announced at the very beginning of his speech, he was like, I'm Joe Biden and I'm a car guy. I guess you got to say that when you're in Michigan. And he helped himself to a test drive of the electric Ford F-150, which is, it's a pickup truck. Pickup trucks are big here in America. I believe 800,000 pickup trucks were purchased last year alone. That's a lot compared to 300,000 electric cars of different brands. And the push is to try to get electric cars going as a thing. We'll see what happens. But it was a good speech. He did announce America is back. I'm not 100% sure that in fact, I am 100% sure that we are not 100% back because, some people are wearing masks, some aren't. A lot of people don't have jobs and don't have unemployment benefits because they have stupid governors like Greg Abbott who are cutting their extended unemployment benefits. But that's another discussion for another time. He did not escape this press conference without getting some questions about the conflict. I'm calling it a conflict in Israel. He didn't get away without getting hit by some questions about that. And, he dodged it a little bit. He definitely did not say ceasefire. Again, we got to see what happens. And, Democrats are putting on the pressure. Chuck Schumer is in favor of a ceasefire. Nancy Pelosi is in favor of a ceasefire. So he cannot, this is not sustainable for him to not make a definitive statement one way or the other. So again, we shall see what happens. This face. This is not a face you ever want to wake up to or turn to the side and find it staring right at you. This is Andrew Giuliani. Andrew Giuliani is the son of COVID fart. And today he announced that he is running for governor of New York State. Now, isn't that something? That's crazy. In fact, it's so crazy that when he announced that he was running, Eric Trump immediately began trending on Twitter. Why? Because people were comparing Andrew Giuliani to Eric Trump, saying that Andrew Giuliani makes Eric Trump look like a Rhodes Scholar. Indeed, and I can't disagree with that. It is what it is. I don't think anybody can dispute the fact that Andrew Giuliani is actually Rudy Giuliani's son anymore. If you look at that picture, the genes are right there, the same horsey teeth. Also, who on earth would willingly take a picture that close to Rudy Giuliani except his son? I do not believe he has a snowball's chance in hell of winning, but we'll see. Really, that's insane. It's insane, but crazier things have happened. Fast rewind to 2016, okay? Has anybody seen Lil Marco Rubio? The little Bible boy. He now is in trouble. He's in trouble. He is in the fight of his life now because officially today, Rep. Val Demings has decided which way she wants to go, and she's decided that the governorship is not for her. She wants to take Marco Rubio's Senate seat away from him. And I think it's her race to lose now, really. She is dynamic. She is popular. She is a strong woman, intelligent, and and she's not Marco Rubio. So she's got that going for her. I am 100%, 1,000% behind this dynamic person, and I look forward to seeing her sworn in as the new senator of Florida. And that's it for the quick hits. Those quick hits were really quick, I think. All right, let's jump right on into that part of the show. You know what it is. It's the timeline a cleanse. Timeline cleanse. Timeline cleanse. Boom, boom, boom. Since Van, you mentioned here that Val cancels out Joe Manchin, right? Unfortunately, we still need that buzzard. We still need that buzzard in his seat. But the more seats we add to the total, we can begin to ignore a Joe Manchin and a Kristen Sinema. We can't really kick them to the curb yet because officially they do still have the D next to their name, so we need those Ds. Need those Ds. Ds. If my son was here and heard me say D's, he would complete that sentence in a rude way. Okay, so first up, this first clip is something that I really miss from New York. This was recorded in Queens, I believe. I saw several replies saying that this was in Astoria, Queens. Yes, Pasta D. That's what he would have said. And there is a baby watching with us, I believe. Laurie B's baby Harrison is in the audience. So I'm not going to repeat what you just wrote. I just will confirm that. D's. Okay, so this is one of the things that I miss from just tooling around randomly in New York. You will see things like this. Pipes. Pipes. Woo! Uh. Woo! Whoa! Damn! Oh my God. Oh my God. That's one of those things. Whoo! If you're watching, you have to say, whoo! You do. Those are some amazing pipes. Next up, I've got a young man, very young man. He's a baby, but he's got some amazing sticks. Check out his solo. He's kicking it. Look at him looking up at Daddy or somebody. Fire! Good God! Ah. What? What is he, like 3 or 4 years old? That was amazeballs. That was amazeballs. So today, all three of my entries for the timeline cleanse are amazing. The first one was amazing pipes. That last one was amazing sticks, and this next one, this is for two groups of people: for yoga fans and for dog lovers. So I give you amazing. Oh, and this one was courtesy of one of our tweeps out here. I'm sorry, I don't remember. One of you sent it to me. If I check my messages, I could tell you maybe who sent it to me. I feel like it might have been Asmila J or somebody. Who was it? Or was it Cha Cha? No, it wasn't Cha Cha. Look at me looking at my phone while I'm streaming live. So rude. Oh, wait. No. It wasn't Lee. What did Asmila J send me? Okay. Some of you. Somebody's going to have to. Oh, Asmila J sent me a different one. Excuse me. Oh, okay. Since fan says she didn't send it as a DM but retweeted it. Okay, here it is. Damn it. Amazing yoga dog. Oh, Samantha from the Bronx. That's right. That's who it was. Thank you, Samantha. Here we go. Courtesy of Samantha from the Bronx. Look at the doggo. And he's lifting his leg too. Both poses. It's crazy. Yo, that's insane. I'm playing it again so you can see fully stretched out. I don't know the names of these poses. I'm sure wifey knows because she does the yoga thing. I think that one was downward dog. That's the only one I know, I think. That's incredible. That's so cool. That that is the definition of a timeline cleanse. So once again, Samantha, thank you for sending that to me. And let me just make a note too. A few of you over the past few weeks have sent me videos that are cool that I would love to use on the show. Um, Last night was it Lee Saunders sent me a video about the history of Israel. I thought was fascinating, and I wish I had had it for that segment I did on Israel. I'll probably be able to use it again at some point. But stuff like that, don't think I don't appreciate it. Don't think I don't see it. Um, Thank you guys, and feel free to send me those things because I do spend a lot of time searching the internets for the cool timeline cleanses. All right, so let's jump right on into our first topic of the day. This was disappointing. This was very disappointing to me. So, the North Carolina district attorney, his name is Andrew Womble. Uh, he held a press conference and he announced that no officers in the shooting, the execution, I should say, of Andrew Brown Jr. will be held accountable. There's no charges to be had. None. His statement was Mr. Brown's death, while tragic, was justified because Mr. Brown's actions caused three deputies to reasonably believe it was necessary to use deadly force to protect themselves and others. So I'm watching this and I'm listening to him. First off, he started by thank you, Elizabeth City, North Kakalaki. That's right. He started off by, unloading a whole lot of Mr. Brown's criminal history, charges, arrests, and stuff like that. Um, the dude has already been murdered once. Do you have to assassinate his character after the fact? None of his criminal past has anything to do with why he was murdered. Period. And yeah, I know there's a whole lot of people out there. Well, he should have just complied. He shouldn't have tried to escape. But I got news for you. There are plenty of examples of people who have attempted to escape, not only attempted to escape, but demonstrated aggressive, dangerous behavior towards cops, and they were brought in hair unharmed on the head. Let me show you one of these examples of people who get arrested without dying.
Get on the fucking ground now! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the fucking ground now! Get on the ground! Put your feet, your hands, put your hands on the ground.
Okay,
now.
so he starts off complying, but then
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! You have? Get on the ground!
now he's not complying at all.
Dude, get on the ground.
Even the person filming is like, yo, comply. Walks over to his car, pushes the cop. Cop tases him. He rips the taser out, charges the cop. The cop is running away. The cop is running away from him.
He's chasing the taser didn't face him. He's gonna shoot him. He gonna shoot.
And now
Oh,
he's running to the
shit.
cop car. What is he on?
Get out the car now!
He's trying not to use his gun.
And the person who's filming correctly, astutely says he's trying not to use his gun. Note the person who was aggressive, and yeah, you're right, Jennifer. The guy probably was on something. And that is often the case with people of color that are in the process of being arrested. That's what they said about George Floyd, that he was on something. Very different in how the two are apprehended. So I just have a problem as I'm watching this guy's press conference and him rationalizing, giving all this, supposed justification for the execution style murder of of Andrew Brown Jr. The guy was surrounded. His car was surrounded. So, yeah, maybe he should have, complied. But given recent history, when black men are arrested, and especially when we're surrounded by a bunch of gung-ho guys that jumped off the back of a pickup truck. Hold on, I got clip of that. Yeah, there's a bunch of them on a pickup truck. Let's go, Buford. Let's go get that guy. Let's go get him. Bunch of them jumped off of the back of this pickup truck. Dude was probably terrified. Now, you're trying to serve a warrant to this guy, but you need 8 armed guys? You couldn't shoot out his tires? You standing right there a few feet away from the vehicle. So during this press conference, they're showing clips, clips, just pictures, still images of what happened. And I'm thinking to myself, but damn it, hasn't it been like a month since the family asked for footage? There's 2 hours of footage of this incident, 2 hours of body cam footage, and they're giving us still images. And even the still images, the guy couldn't manage to click through his PowerPoint presentation, And then finally, after maybe about 15, 20 minutes, they shared with us a 44-second video clip of what transpired. And that really tells me nothing. It tells me nothing. Half of the time, the view is obscured by the guy's gun being pointed. You couldn't tell. To me, it didn't look like he was trying to kill any of those officers. It looked like he was just trying to escape. Trying to escape is not a reason to kill somebody. It's not. You see cops chasing after criminals all the time. They don't have to shoot to kill. In this instance, they shot to kill. They did. So, and still, the fact remains, if this was a justifiable killing, why not release all of the video? Release it. Release it. You've already made your decision. You've made your decision. So now let us all see what you base that decision on. Let's see. They're hiding it. They're hiding it. Release the damn footage. So the family of Andrew Brown Jr. released a statement, and they said, Andrew Brown Jr., his grieving family, and this community deserve answers. And they received anything but from D.A. Womble's attempt to whitewash this unjustified killing. To say this shooting was justified despite the known facts is both an insult and a slap in the face to Andrew's family. The Elizabeth City community, and to rational people everywhere. And I'm inclined to agree. It is an insult. You showed us 44 seconds out of 2 hours of footage. Where's the rest of it? Why'd you hold on to this for well over a month? Why is it taking this long for us to see just that little bit? And look, I will admit there was a moment during this press briefing where I'm watching this and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Andrew Brown Jr., nobody gave him the talk, because I've given the talk to my sons and I've told them, if police are trying to arrest you, do not resist. Do not resist. That's like, 101, the talk 101. You know not to resist. But for whatever reason, the fear kicked in. He wasn't armed. He was just terrified. And now he's dead. And now the cops who killed him with a bullet to the back of the head, nothing. And this is why we have problems. This is why, because the black community sees that there are no consequences for killing us. It's that simple. Yeah. Andrea Baldridge says the talk doesn't always work. Clearly, that is the case. You see a lot. It's surprising how often you see people, like, if it were me, I'm not resisting at all. Cuff me. Go ahead, cuff me. Yeah, whatever of my rights you are trying to violate, we'll clear that up with my lawyer. I just want to get to the jail cell safely. But yeah, it doesn't always work. Bernadette says he was afraid. That's right. Corey Lord says the immaturity of the police have misled them into mistaking fear for instinct. That's a good one. The DA, Deborah Baldini, says the DA went on and on with the report and never thought to mention that a bullet went into a neighbor's home, just left it out. That's interesting. I didn't even know that. Pete, as a boss, gave the talk to her son and daughter. Move slowly and do not resist. It seems either way we risk being killed. Oof. So true. Okay, so I got to move right along because I still have two significant segments of the show. This next one is on the January 6th Commission. So right now there's kind of a debate going on about the January 6th Commission, a commission that has been proposed to look into what was the cause of January 6th and who was responsible, who did the planning of this thing, who had a chance to stop it and did nothing, all that stuff, answers that need to be unearthed. Okay. After 9/11, there was a bipartisan commission. It was the 9/11 Commission. It was a big, thick book that came up with all these facts and details about how 9/11 happened, how it could have been prevented. This is important stuff, if you want to prevent it from happening again. And thus far, knock on wood, the United States has been able to prevent it, albeit through draconian measures. I mean, you still have to take your shoes off. You still have to take your shoes off when you get on a plane. Okay? That's how drastic 9/11 was, how drastically 9/11 changed our way of living. Benghazi. There's a reason I'm bringing up Benghazi, too. Benghazi. Hillary Clinton sat through, I think it was either 11 or 13 hours worth of testimony in congressional hearing. And there were multiple congressional hearings, millions and millions of dollars spent on investigating why 4 people died in Benghazi. And they were all in an uproar when I think it was Susan Rice who suggested that perhaps it was a result of an uprising. The people were angry about a video, and they jumped all over that. Oh, you say, rah, 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 rah. Hillary denied security, rah, 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 rah. And after all their investigations, years of investigations and hearings and millions of dollars, they had nothing. Nothing. But who was in charge of that investigation? None other than Qevin McCarthy. And he bragged about it. He bragged about the fact that Hillary was seen to be unbeatable, but because of his Benghazi hearings, now she's beatable. Now people can't trust her because Benghazi. Which is why, I believe, that's part of the reason why Kevin McCarthy does not want a January 6th commission. He has come out hard against it. Yes, they absolutely did railroad her, Natalie B. You even have some congressmen like Andrew Clyde here with the suggestion, with the idiotic, moronic suggestion that January 6th was nothing more than just an average tour of the Capitol. That's all it was. It's just a tour. Yeah, welcome. Welcome to United States Capitol Tours, located conveniently off of I-81, right inside the Capitol building. You won't need an invitation or even an actual tour guide. You can even see me helping to barricade myself inside the chambers. Uh, that's all part of the charm of the feeling of freedom you get from our tour. It starts off with an impassioned speech by a guy who won't accept the fact that he lost the election. We have fire extinguishers, we got barricades, we got flagpoles, we got bear spray, we got podiums to carry and look like an idiot. You can put your feet right up on the desk of Nancy Pelosi if you want to. Come on down to the United States Capitol Tours. Climb all over the walls if you want. It's fine. Just you get a free pass to beat up the police. You can wear a costume if you want to. It's fine. Nobody minds if you scream a little bit. It's the tour. You know, this is what you do on a tour. You wear a bearskin rug and a Viking helmet, and everything is fine. You can look through our computers. You can smash the windows. Come on down to the United States Capitol Tours. Yeah, I mean, so the January 6th Commission naturally is very important for us to move forward. We cannot move forward without absolutely holding every last person accountable for the parts they played. And there's a lot of blame to go around. Clarence Thomas's wife contributed money to help get a lot of those people down there. We got that guy Ali Alexander, who for some reason they still have not apprehended and brought in. He's got direct dirt on Rep. Paul Gosar, Mo Brooks. Who's that other guy? I can't remember, but he's got dirt on a lot of people. Has not yet been apprehended. He's got to be brought into justice. And how this investigatory commission would work is that they bring everybody in. No one is exempt. Nobody is immune from testifying in front. Thank you, Andy Biggs, Misha, and Corey Lord. Excuse me, Andy Biggs was the other guy I was looking for. Everybody must testify, and that includes the former guy, who still 6 months later, he cannot accept the fact that he lost. He is still spewing that big lie, that big election fraud lie. Yeah, and this was a terrifying moment for us who were at home watching. All of us were just like astounded at what was happening. It was chaos. Who prevented the National Guard from responding as early as they could have? In fact, who prevented them from being there on the premises on that day, knowing well in advance that there were going to be thousands of people in attendance at that rally? Who prevented that? Because there was hundreds of National Guard present for our little Black Lives Matter marches in D.C., where people got rubber bulleted and bear sprayed, pepper sprayed, and all that. Who prevented all those things from happening? So, fun fact, if this commission goes through, Spanky McDumbass may be called to testify. I most certainly, if I was there, I would definitely call him in to testify. Absolutely. But Kevin McCarthy wants it to be broader. He wants to include, he wants Antifa. He wants Antifa to be investigated. Like, dude, it's not a thing. There is not an Antifa office. There's no logos. There's no leadership. There's no leader of Antifa. Seriously, man. And nobody from Black Lives Matter was there in that crowd stirring up shit. It was all Trumpers. It was all Trumpers. So I hope I hope they're able to move forward and get this thing approved, because I am tired. I am tired of having to correct people every day on Twitter and say, January 6th was not a tour. It was not innocent. It was not nothing. It definitely was significant. It was something. It was dangerous. It was violent. And it was an insurrection. And people have to be held accountable. M. Getz wants to know, when are we going to see Trump indictments? When is this fucker going to testify? That's a good question. I don't know. Asmila J says she keeps bags of soup at all times just in case her family is hungry. Let's see. Samantha Hawkins says she already paid her dues for the yearly Antifa membership. Yeah. Okay. So, moving right along, this is also. Oh, wait a minute. I have a video clip of this insanity. Hold on.
The people who breached the Capitol on January 6th are being abused, some even being held for 23 hours a day in solitary confinement.
That was Marjorie Taylor Greene saying that these insurrectionists are being abused by being kept in solitary confinement for 23 hours. I couldn't care less. I could not care less. These are people who attacked our Capitol violently. Violently. Yeah. Keep them in, they're lucky. They're lucky that they're actually alive to complain. George Floyd tried to pass off a fake 20, allegedly, and is now dead. Andrew Brown Jr. tried to escape. He's dead. So those people who are still alive to complain about being all by myself, tough shit. Tough shit. You can rot in there. Get used to it. Okay. Now, this next piece here. I posted a tweet earlier today, and I asked the question. I said, what happens if we just keep lurching from election to election, and the election results are constantly in dispute? Nobody can accept the results of the election that they just lost legitimately. What happens if every election there are election fraud accusations, rigging allegations constantly from election to election. What happens? That's the end of our democracy. That is the end. If you constantly undermine people's faith in elections, that's what's going to happen. And when that happens, you get an autocrat who slips right in there, inserts himself, and starts just declaring shit. Then our democracy is dead. I'm curious, why on earth would Spanky McDumbass allow himself to be photographed in this pose? I mean, it is easily one of probably the most ridiculous pose I've ever seen a grown man or woman, a grown human, posing themselves in. He looks like a spoiled brat pouting. But that is what he's doing right now. It's been 6 months since the election, and he is still spreading that big lie. And he's not alone. He's got help from the GOP. People who are actively saying that there was election fraud and blah, blah, blah. And some of them don't actually believe that. Some of them know that Spanky lost. They know. But they're trying to coast off of Spanky's tails. They want some of that Trumper base that he's got. So the Stop the Steal continues, and they continue to bend the knee to Trump, and they even have a recount going on in Arizona right now, in Maricopa County. They are recounting the votes with the assistance of cyber ninjas. Am I reading this right? Cyber ninjas. There's people who specialize in finding cyber fraud, I suppose. But even the people from Maricopa County themselves are fed up with this farce. I've got a quote here from GOP Maricopa County Supervisor Bill Gates. Not that Bill Gates, this other Bill Gates. He says, now it's time to say enough is enough. It is time to push back on the big lie. It's one voice, and he'll find some resonance and some agreement with people like Liz Cheney, but they penalized her by pushing her out of her leadership role. And I saw a clip earlier today from a writer, journalist by the name of Kurt Bardella. And I just wanted to share this with you. It's very interesting, and it's right on point. It's right on the money. Here it is.
Idea that this party is somehow about forward motion and conservative principles is total BS. This party is about one thing and one thing only, and that's lying about the election and undermining democracy.
So let me read from your op-ed in the LA Times. The gravest threat now to America's freedom comes not from outside our borders, but from those who doubt that democracy works at all. If we saw a political faction in another country repudiate a free election, as the GOP is doing right now, American diplomats would be calling out that crime, Kurt.
Well, listen, we heard for the better part of 2000s, the Republican Party rhetoric and orthodoxy about the war on terror and fear about terrorists from abroad, the threat from abroad. But in reality, the threat that we are facing right now at home, in our own backyard, from one of the two major political parties in this country, has put democracy on its edge. We are teetering very, very close right now. I don't think people realize what's happening. But what we have seen now is a Republican Party that even on the day of the insurrection, that night, went back into the chambers of Congress and voted against approving a free and fair election. This is a three-part play that we're seeing right now. Act one was the November election. Act 2 is the 2022 midterms. And if Republicans somehow get control of one of the two chambers of Congress, I guarantee you in 2024, if they don't like the results of the election, they will not certify them. And they will create a constitutional crisis, the likes of which we have never seen, putting democracy on edge and under threat in a way that it never was during the attacks of al-Qaeda, during everything that we experienced in the 2000s, all the alarmist rhetoric we heard from Republicans about terror and war and terrorism. Well, guess what? The threat we are seeing right now from the Republican Party is far bigger than any of that.
I just want to take a moment to say to Jen and Fat Tony, who apparently are getting tornado warnings over there in Texas, you guys be safe. If you got to run now, please do so. Get yourselves to safety. Just be safe there. These tornadoes are not to be messed with. Stacy Mendenhall is bringing up excellent point here. She says they are doing some crazy crap in Maricopa using black lights looking for bamboo ballots. Yeah, literally, they believe that ballots were sent from China with bamboo somehow embedded in the paper. This is nuts. It is insane. And if you lived through the 2000 elections, here, just on the screen here, I have, this is what the final number was. Joe Biden, 1,411,235 to Trump's 1,318,219. Joe has got him beat by a cool 100,000 votes. Easy. 51% to 48%. Easy. He's won those electoral votes. It's over and done with. But those of you who, like me, lived through the nightmare that was the 2000 election between Al Gore and George W. Bush, you may recall that this isn't the first time we have experienced this kind of insane recount stuff. But, you know, the difference back then was in Florida, and I think it was Miami-Dade County. They were doing a recount. This was like a limited, just one county. And then we learned about hanging chads and pregnant chads and all these different kinds of chads as they are literally just like looking at votes. And I think back then we heard that there were ballots that were just left here, and we heard everybody was hearing different stories, right? But at the end of the day, Al Gore, he's like, look, I don't want this country to go through this. I don't want it. And ultimately, it was taken out of his hands. I believe am I remembering this correctly? Did the Supreme Court end this, or was it Al Gore that ended this? I don't remember, but here's another example of the insanity that was going on back then. This was the Brooks Brothers revolt or something. These guys, I believe they were organized by Roger Stone, and they were sent down to where, it was Al Gore. Okay. They were sent down to where the recount was. Wait, so I got a few people saying Samantha B says it was a Supreme Court ruling. I'm glad I'm not the only one who remembers this a little hazy, but Bernadette says it was the Supreme Court gave it to Bush. Okay, SCOTUS rule in favor of Bush. Yeah, but that was a crazy time. But Al Gore didn't he didn't spend the next 6 months saying that was a phony rigged election. He just went about his business, saving the climate and, and doing his thing. But Spanky is stuck and mired in this thing, and it's selfish for anyone who has ever held the office of president. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Really, he could have ended this shit January 6th. He could have ended it and said, you know what? I love this country too much to see it go through this. I'm graciously accepting defeat. No, no. He's milking this shit for all it's worth. It's disgusting. Now, I'm showing this picture here to remind you, you know what year this picture came from. This picture is infamous. This was that primal scream that we all felt on November, was it 8th or 9th? November 9th, when we learned that Trump had won the election. Yeah, a lot of us were pissed. We were pissed. We were incredulous. We couldn't believe it. And then Jill Stein stepped forward and she says, send me your money. I'm going to organize a recount. And yeah, I'm guilty. Guilty. I sent her money for a recount. I did. And that recount went nowhere. It went nowhere. It was garbage. She's a garbage person, and that was a garbage recount lie or whatever. But we didn't go and storm the Capitol. We didn't try to do an insurrection. We were pissed off. We're like, okay, you know what? We're just going to be the resistance. That's all. We're going to be the fly in your ointment, Orange Man. Huh? We're going to be that noisy hinge that you just can't get rid of. Yeah. That's all we did. We strapped on our pink hats and we're like, yeah, up yours. So it seems like the only entity that has been able to shut people down is Dominion. Dominion voting systems, with the help of their billion-dollar lawsuits, has been able to say, hey, take our name out of your stupid mouth, all right? You're telling lies about us. You're trying to cost us money. We're not taking it, all right? Shut the hell up or else. And Fox News and OAN and all those blazes have had to issue, retracted statements saying that no, we got nothing against Dominion. But Dominion voting is, again, that's part of the conspiracy. Here's Trump saying Dominion deleted 2.7 million Trump votes nationwide. Data analysis finds 221,000 Pennsylvania votes switched from President Trump to Biden and all that nonsense. And he actually has helped to feed this. People are naturally inclined to believe conspiracy theories. Why? Because conspiracy theories help explain to us the unexplainable. And in a lot of people's minds, how could Trump lose? I mean, he did so many rallies. There were so many people at his rallies, and he's so great, and Biden is so old. I don't understand. It must have been stolen. So people are ripe to believe that shit. But you can take down this whole society by just stoking those lies, stoking those conspiracies, and allowing people to, to believe them, and that you're just going to erode the integrity of our elections and the strength of our democracy. And it's sad to see. The only thing to do is to continue to push back against it. Are Dominion suing Trump? Lee Saunders wants to know. I'm not sure. They should be, but I think if they were, we definitely would have heard about that. Samantha says, ironically, I think he actually won the PA counties that use Dominion machines. That is ironic. That is funny. And Stella Baxter says, but we outnumber the Q Trumplicans. We have to keep showing up at every election. Bingo. Bingo. I wonder if all of this, talk about fake election and stuff, I wonder if it erodes people's Republicans' confidence in the system. I wonder if it backfires on them, and it suppresses their own turnout. I wonder. Yes, Debbie, they are suing Rudy. That's right. Um, I wonder if it has that effect because none of us feel that way. We're all like, yeah, mail in ballots. I'm going to stand, walk over broken glass to vote. And they're like, they cheated Trump. Maybe I'm just not going to vote. What happens when 2024 rolls around and Trump is in jail? Who are they going to turn out for then? Ted Cruz? Psh. No, but we can't get complacent. We have to keep fighting and have to keep being vocal and loud and pestering the hell out of people for 2022 because that's the next big one. That's for all the marbles or whatever. Okay. That's that for my third segment. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for You Raggedy Bish. Aw. Yes, You Raggedy Bish. And today's You Raggedy Bish is none other than Qevin McCarthy. And I mentioned to you that he was about bragging about the role he played in doing the Benghazi hearings. And here's a clip. Here's some receipts.
The question I think you really want to ask me is, how am I going to be different? What are you going to see differently? I love that you asked my questions, but go ahead. That was one of my questions. Go right ahead. I knew you'd want to ask it. What you're going to see is a conservative speaker that takes a conservative Congress that puts a strategy to fight and win. And let me give you one example. Everybody thought Hillary Clinton was unbeatable, right? But we put together a Benghazi special committee, a select committee. What are her numbers today? Her numbers are dropping. Why? Because she's untrustable. But no one would have known any of that had happened had we not fought and made that happen.
Something good. I give you credit for that. I give you credit for.
He give him credit for that. Yeah, he bragged like a mofo about setting up a bullshit commission, basically just to tar and feather Hillary Clinton and make her sound, yes, as Mila J says, he said the quiet part out loud. Yeah, to make Hillary Clinton untrustable. And unfortunately, that is what happened. They would put out polls that I thought were ridiculous with the wording. They would put out polls saying, "Do you trust Hillary Clinton?" And it's weird because the wording of that almost implies like, I don't know. Should I trust her? You know what I mean? So, right, there was bias implicit in the question alone. They could have asked questions like an open-ended question, like what are some of the qualities that you admire in Hillary Clinton? And you could have listed trustworthiness, articulate, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But no, do you trust Hillary Clinton? So it was a total hit job on her. And that's what Qevin McCarthy did. And now Qevin McCarthy, who, by the way, will never be the Speaker of the House. He will never be. I'm going on record. I'm fearlessly going on record to say Qevin McCarthy's spineless ass will never go on to be Speaker of the House. Never. He's spineless. During the impeachment hearing, he said that Trump bears some responsibility for what happened on January 6th. This is Officer Michael Fanone, and Qevin McCarthy will not meet with him. This was one of the officers who was there on January 6th. Imagine what a chicken shit you have to be to not speak to one of the officers who were fighting to save lives on that day. You won't even talk to the man? That's some cowardly shit. All right now, all he is interested in, and look, he can't even measure up to John Boehner, and I couldn't stand John Boehner. But even John Boehner, you know, he was a lot of things. I don't think you could accuse him of not having a spine. But Kevin McCarthy, spineless, spineless. But he is interested in only one thing, and that one thing is being in the right position to sniff all of the former guy's farts. That's it. Just to catch those vapors, just to be there, to be his footstool, to be his water boy, whatever you want to call it. He oversaw the ousting of Liz Cheney and replacing her with a bonehead like Elise Stefanik, which, you know, if you're paying any attention to her at all during the first impeachment trials, you know, actually she probably is like a perfect fit for this iteration of the GQP, which is completely unhinged. But yeah, this picture right here fully encapsulates who Kevin McCarthy is. He knows Trump just shat his own pants. He can smell it. He knows how shitty it smells, but he will not move. He will not leave his side. He's just going to stand there and bear it. And for that, Kevin, you are one raggedy. Wait. You raggedy bish. Yeah. All right. So now, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Oh damn. I think I forgot. I forgot to do something. What could it be? I gotta change those pictures. But they're funny. They're still funny to me. You know how you have some relatives who what you said or did one funny thing like 10 years ago, and every time every time you see them, they're like, do that thing you did again with the da da da. Yeah. That's like me. I don't get tired of those things. Anyway, it is now time for the Littlest President. The Littlest President is available on BrooklynDadDefiant.com, where if you go to BrooklynDadDefiant.com, you will see this beautiful signature, and it says, "We won." Look how beautiful and swooshy it is. Oh, my God. The Littlest President is starring. Come on now. Here we go. President Barack Obama, Hillary Rodham Clinton, Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Joseph R. Biden, and the R stands for ready to kick that ass. Bladder Bear Poopin, holding the puppet strings on Spanky McDumbass, Complicit Barbie, Rudy Giuliani, Gummy McJuicebox, Kellyanne Conjob, Stephen the Snake Miller, and Mitch McTurtle McConnell. Speed read, y'all. Feel that. Feel the speed. Okay, it is now time for our favorite page because this is Spanky McDumbass. Spanky McDumbass is sad. He used to be rich. He used to be a businessman. He used to be a TV star. He used to have a Twitter account. He used to be the littlest president. But now Spanky McDumbass is in jail. How did he get here? Let's go back. Boom! Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Spanky went around the country saying the nastiest things about a great many people. He demeaned Senator John McCain, saying he wasn't a hero because he was captured. And still somehow the Republican Party nominated him. He mocked a disabled reporter, making spastic movements with his little arms. He even insulted the wife and father of a cowardly senator. Spanky was horrible, but his supporters were even worse. And now, in retrospect, all of these things that I mentioned here about, saying mean things about John McCain and mocking the disabled reporter and insulting Ted Cruz's family, they all seem quaint. They all seem very quaint and insignificant. If you think about it, right? These are things that we were outraged about 5 years ago, whatever. And now it's like, oh. No, there's still shitty things. They are still shitty things that he did. But in comparison to inciting insurrection, in comparison to, trying to extort Ukraine, and all the other horrible shit that he did, those things, they pale in comparison. They pale in comparison. Wait.
They pale in comparison.
All right. Let's see. I did okay on time. I'm trying to figure out the balance of how to get this show good on the time. I think I did okay, but that's because I skipped the roll call. Wait.
Infected.
Infected. All right. Questions. What do you got for me, folks? I got time for like this many questions. What do you have? Skipped roll call and no game. Oh, okay. So I'm spoiling you guys. Don't expect, it takes me some time to put those games together. You can't expect it every day. I'm just I feel like those games actually cause me to go way off schedule. Hey, and Cha-Cha says she ordered her T-shirts. Those of you who missed yesterday's show, I was rocking the I Got the Shot T-shirt, which is very fancy. Also available on BrooklynDeadDefiant.com. It appears there. It's the website. But thank you for that. Yes, Stephen the Snake Miller. Let's see. Spanky won't ever. Marty says Spanky won't ever give up the big lie. That would mean he is guilty, which of course we all know he is. He is such a lahoozer. Indeed. Da 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 da. Ra ta 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 ta. And Jennifer Rayner, correctly points out, you did the roll call when you started the show, didn't you? Yes, I did. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, I advise you to please be unlike Brooklyn Dad and show up on time. Self-own. I'm striving to be better with that, guys. I am, for real. There's Solid Blue Sister. There she goes. She says, BDD, do you think Native Americans should get all of the land returned that was stolen from them? If not the land, do you agree Native Americans should receive one hell of a reparations package? She does. I think the reparations package is the way to go. And the reason I say that is because the land, I mean, if you were to give them the land back that they are entitled to, it could be like half of America or 80% or all of it, really. So that's not going to happen. But what I can see realistically is, one hell of a reparations package. Make it, they're throwing away billions and billions and billions of dollars on warfare and weapons that we don't need. Take like 500 billion, 500 billion, give it to the Native Americans and, split it up however, That would be one hell of a reparations package. You can afford it, sure. And then reparations also for African Americans too. While we're at it, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that too. I don't care. Reparations, damn it. Yeah. Foxhill Dreams wants to know, do you think a second Republican Party will evolve? That's a good question. We've seen that before. So I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no because, as shitty as it is right now, the GOP is just the GOP. Now, back in 2010, we saw things like the Tea Party emerge. And so the Tea Party was a splinter of the Republican Party. The Republican Party is established. It is established. In order for there to be a second Republican Party, there would have to be some kind of seismic shift where like a massive chunk of people were just like, you know what? No more. I'm done with you. And somebody, I hate to say it, somebody with the clout like Donald Trump would have to announce he could probably start a second Republican Party and call it Trumplicans or whatever, He could do that, actually, if he wanted to. And he would probably have a massive following. All the QAnon idiots, and all the Trumpers, they would join him, and they wouldn't have enough to win an election. They would have enough to help Republicans lose. That would be interesting. I'd love to see it. Thank you, Foxhill Dreams. And you too, Solid Blue Sister, for that. Watcher Soko says, Ted Cruz is a piece of shit for kissing Spanky's ass after what he said about his wife. But what's wrong with her? She should really be pissed. I wonder if she's just hanging in there. I don't know if she's got some kind of angle because he even rolled her under the bus after that Cancun fiasco. So I don't know what's going on in that family, but yeah, you bring up an excellent point there. Okay, and this is the last one here. Deb B wants to know, is Trump writing his own posts? Unfortunately, or fortunately for me, I have not bothered to read his posts. I refuse to. I see them on my Twitter feed and I scroll past. I don't even stop to say, to reply to that person's tweet and say, hey, stop sharing this shit. I just scroll past it. I don't even want to give them the impressions. Everybody who posts a tweet, you get impressions from that tweet. It's however long somebody looks at your tweet. So if somebody looks at your tweet for like 3 seconds without scrolling, that's an impression. I'm making up that 3-second thing, but it's something like that. All right, guys. Thank you very much for another awesome episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, a.k.a. Brooklyn Dad. And if you gotta go out, make sure you wear your gloves. Wear your mask. Wear your mask. Wear your gloves. Keep your social distance. 6 feet or better. And have a lovely, relaxing evening. I will see you here tomorrow. Same time, same place. I love you all. Peace. Hey. Boom. So Foxhill Dreams wants to know, when is my second vax? It was Saturday. Wifey and I had our second vax No obvious adverse reactions aside from a sore arm. That was it. Second Pfizer vax, and we are good to go. Hey! Remember to hit the like button on your way out the cyber door. Hey! Glory be, peace to you and the baby Harrison. We love him so much. He's beautiful. Hey! Qevin Rutherford is 2 weeks after his second shot on Saturday. Well done, Qevin Rutherford. I can't wait for my second week. Jamie from Wisconsin is reminding us to smash that like button like you mean it. Smash! Hey! That last hey was special. All right, guys. Thank you again. I love you all. And now it is that time. You need to leave.